And then there's her. Remember what I said, by the way. Remember, adult, 45, mentally. He's a full adult. So no relationships with children. Don't even try it. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Oshinoko, episode 2. Last time, on episode 1, a lot of things happened. I made 3 videos on episode 1, but to kind of go over the main points, I wasn't a fan of the idea that Aqua, I think Aqua was the guy, right? Okay, the main character, Aqua, was getting into acting. Personally, I hoped that he would be going more into, like, back into the medical field. And I'm hoping, even if he doesn't, I'm hoping that they don't just throw the whole doctor thing away. I want to see his ability as a doctor to come back into the show, into the story. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the main thing, which is Hoshino Ai fucking croaked. The stalker came in, did a little stabby stab, and then her guts exploded all over the floor. A lot of blood. I was surprised, honestly. I definitely did not think that they would kill Hoshino Ai, but considering, I mean, she was seemingly one of the big characters. Like, the entire story almost revolved around her, right? The main character's motivations and, like, essentially personalities, you know, Aqua and Ruby, like, they kind of all revolved around her. So, it's really surprising that they killed her off. It's interesting because I actually legitimately can't tell where this show is gonna go, where the story is gonna go. So in that sense, it was a very good idea. I don't yet know, I can't really tell yet whether or not it was a good idea to kill her off or not, but I would have liked to just explore her character a little bit more. I feel like so many shows end up killing their characters too early or too late. Like, in my opinion, if you want to kill a main character, you gotta do it in the middle of the story. At a crucial point in the middle of the story. Because by then you already have a good amount of time to get to know this character and care about this character, and then you kill her off. So I feel like, yeah, they killed her off way too early. I would have said maybe spend a couple of episodes with the kids kind of growing up and, like, the first steps, and have them interacting with Hoshino Ai more, and then kill her off. It would be so much more impactful. But still, I was still surprised. Alright, let's get right into episode 2 of Oshinoko. Okay. The intro, the opening, honestly, kinda catchy. Certain large-scale something auditions. 100. Seriously? Somehow I really doubt this. There's no fucking way. I really don't think there's 136,000 applicants. Nah, mate. Somehow I just doubt that. Also, okay, maybe they'll show us how old. Okay, middle school. Okay, so last episode, I mentioned at the end that it's been many years since Hoshino Ai died. So it's like, what have they been doing all this time? And I think middle school is 12, 13, 14, maybe? I'm European. We don't have the elementary, middle, high school systems. So, I don't really know what the years are. Because if I'm not mistaken, like, first year of high school was like 15 or 16. I could be wrong. Though it's weird, right? Because I'm trying to remember... remember when Ruby, right, in her previous life was looking at Hoshino Ai on the TV. They were both 12 years old. So Hoshino Ai was already an idol, apparently, at 12. And now apparently they have auditions or some shit.
このアイドルオーディションは絶対ものにする。そしていつかお母さんみたいなトップアイドルに。私の名前は星野ルビー。私には友達にも言えない秘密が2つある。十数年前、熱狂的信者のストーカーに殺された伝説のアイドル。
10 some years ago. 10 some years ago. Okay? I wanna know what fucking Aqua's been up to. Straight up, I wanna know what Aqua's been up to. For 10 years. Straight up, I wanna know what Aqua has been up to. Cause like, it's so weird, right? All of a sudden, now that they're in fucking middle school or whatnot, now all of a sudden everything happens. Right? The plot immediately just hits the fan. Even worse, if Aqua only now starts investigating, then it's like, what the hell have you been doing for the last 10 years? So I'm hoping that they actually show something. Like, oh yeah, I've figured out that someone in this group of actors is the father, and so on and so, like, I'm hoping that he has something to show for having been investigating the scene for 10 years.
そしてもう一つ、私には前世の記憶があること。生まれた時から体が弱く、人生のほとんどを病院で過ごした。
I'm also hoping that Aqua, I mean, Ruby's like doing her own thing, right? I don't really expect anything from Ruby, but I'm also hoping and expecting that Aqua has thought about the whole reincarnation thing more, or investigated something, you know? Because it's been 10 years after that.
私はママみたいになる。
夢を語るのは結構だけど、高校受験は目の前だぞ。
High school entrance exams, which means they're already now, because yeah, she said 10 something years, right? So they're like 14 right now, even though they look, especially he looks very tall for 14. But, you know, okay. These kids today, they're something else.
アイドルになるんだよ。芸能科がある高校は面接重視、学力なんて参考程度。アイドルになれば受験勉強なんてしなくてよくて、一石二鳥。
豆知識感覚で人生かけたギャンブルすんな。
ア
イドルを夢見るのは構わんけどさ、アイドルに夢を見るなよ。基本発給だし、30手前で定年だし、日常生活は常にファンの監視がつきまとう。卒業後の業界生存率も低くて、結局他業種に就職する人がほとんどで、こんなにコストとリターンが見合ってない仕事もなかなかない。
だからなんだっていうの？したいことをするのが人生でしょ？コストとかリターンとか言ってたら何もできない。何もできないまま終わる人生だってあるんだよ。私はそんなの嫌。お兄ちゃんはママが死んでから変わってしまった。ずっと暗い顔をしていて、全然楽しそうじゃなくて。監督に弟子入りした後、ずっと何かしてるみたいだけど。
You say that like he was different when he was 4 years old. She says that like, oh, he changed when mom died when we were 4.
変わってしまったのはお兄ちゃんだけじゃない。いちごさんはあの事件の後連絡がつかなくなって、みやこさんが後を引き継いだ。愛というスターを失った B 小町は2年後に解散。今のいちごプロにアイドル部門はなくて、ネットタレントのマネジメントに手を広げて運営は成り立ってる。ねえ、またアイドルグループやらないの？
簡単に言わないで。
Okay, so they're still living together, okay.
私だってやれるならやりたいわよ。この仕事を長くやればやるほどわかる。あんな奇跡は2度も起きない。現実はあんなにトントン拍子にいかない。それにいえ、そろそろオーディションの当落の電話がある頃ね。噂をすれば。
星野ルビーさんの電話でよろしいでしょうか？
はい、星野です。はい。
I'm surprised they would even call her. I mean, I suppose maybe if she's on the second check, the second test, the second round of qualifiers, maybe they would call them. But like, I'm thinking they would send an email Okay, there's no way they would call you. That's fucking awkward as fuck. Or maybe Japan is different, I don't know.
ありがとうございます。
I'm guessing she failed.
では次回のご参加を期待しております。
I am surprised that she's failing. I am Okay, we don't yet know. She failed, right?
ダメだった。
Yep, okay. I am surprised, because they made it seem like she had like super talent or something. She was great at dancing, she was great at acting.
現実はそういうものよ。いろんな政治もあるし、実力が正しく審査されることに期待してもいけない。みんな。
And honestly, I mean, the whole idol business, if they're going based off of like real life idol business and stuff, you're better off doing like YouTube or streaming or something. If you already have some fans and like an audience, you're much more likely to be accepted in anything you do, really.
ありがとう、監督。
Why would you throw the phone? God, that's so... I would never do that.
双子の妹も騙せるんだから役者としてはなかなかだ。本物の担当者から電話かかってきたらどうする？
ルビーの携帯から担当者に辞退のショートメッセージを送ってあるし、番号も着信。
Wait. Okay, first off, yeah, we'll talk about what he was doing. I'm just looking at the editing software. That straight up looks like my editing software. I mean,
本物の担当者から電話かかってきたらどうする？双子の
so I'm guessing he was the one who called her and said that she didn't make it. Interesting. So he's okay, so she probably would have made it, but he's like actively sabotaging her. Interesting.
本物の担当者から電話かかってきたらどうする？
ルビーの携帯から担当者に辞退のショートメッセージを送ってあるし、番号も着信拒否設定しといた。抜かりはないよ。
俺には分からんね。なんでそこまでして妹の夢を潰そうとする？あの子は相当美人だし、案外いけるかもしれんだろう。
And that's exactly...
ルビーをアイドルにはさせない。
That's probably exactly the reason, right? More likely you are to make it, the more likely you're gonna have stalkers trying to kill you, apparently. Because that's apparently what stalkers do.
同じ鉄を踏ませない。絶対に。
このシスコンが過保護が過ぎるぞ。
But I would agree with that.
俺一人がそれをやり遂げるから。 スカウトされた？
前々から地下アイドルのメンバー募集とか眺めてたんだけど、ママもスカウトでアイドルになったでしょ？やっぱ導かれてるって思わない？
Yeah, I didn't think this Aqua sabotaging Ruby's idol chances thing was going to continue for very long. If this is what he does, like, what is she gonna do for the rest of the show? I figured what was going to happen is she would become an idol, like very quickly, and then, or maybe she already would be an idol. He is like kind of going behind her back to kind of investigate people in the idol business and stuff like that. Kind of using Ruby to like have access to the idol scene, I guess. Or at least that's what I expected to happen.
まったく面倒な。どうにかしてやめさせないと。
またそういう。愛さんの件があって、可愛い妹に同じ道を歩ませたくないって気持ちには賛同できるわ。私だって、あの時ああしていたら、今ならこうしていたのにって、未だに考える。あんな気持ちは二度とごめん。ルビーを娘だと思って育ててきた。この子は絶対守ってみせる。でも、娘だからこそ、ルビーの気持ちは止められない。顔立ちもどんどん愛に似てきてる。残念ながら資質がある。
こんにちは。
Interesting.
ちょっといいかな。
It's Like, I don't know if they're trying to make it into like a growing moment for Aqua, but he's going very far to sabotage Ruby's chances, which I'm really surprised about, honestly. I kind of hate stuff like this. Like, I fully understand why he's doing it, but just from my personal opinion, like, I just don't like stuff like this. It like gets under my skin, where it's like someone goes behind my back and thinks they know what is best for me. Like, imagine someone going behind your back and sabotaging your dreams. It's not like it's super guaranteed that the popular idols are gonna get killed. I hate, and I mean I hate, when someone goes and does things because they believe they know what's best for me better than I do. I hate that shit. And now he's going to such lengths to like sabotage her. It's like so... It's so bad.
はい、B 小町のですよね。うちのママがファンで。わあ、ここがいちごプロ。スカートさん若いし、タチの悪い勧誘かと思っちゃいました。
タチの悪い悪夢だわ。
ろくでもない運営だったら議論の余地もないだろう。ルビーがアイドル云々の話はそこからだ。
So far, we haven't seen any progress into finding who the father is. What happened to that? I thought that was your reason for living, not trying to stop your sister from, or your so-called sister. Let's be honest, like, they're not really siblings. Let's be honest. If you remember your past life, no. Just no.
ライブ全部出る前提での最低保証給がちょっとと、そこからライブ後のチェキ会で撮影枚数に応じてバックがあって、それがメインの収入。そこから衣装代とかもろもろ引かれていって、移動費とかメイク代とかも自腹だから、月収10万いかないことがほとんどかな。今運営に押されてる子いるんですけど、むちゃくちゃ悲劇で。なんでかって言ったらその子、運営と付き合ってるみたいな。
うわっちゃ。
Interesting.
アイドルの運営って実績ある人もいるけど、アイドル好きが高じてやってる半分趣味みたいな人も多いのよ。もちろん今の子の話が本当かどうかも怪しいわよ。メンバー内の嫉妬や圧力。
One thing I will say, that there's no way, if he allows Ruby to join this underground idol group, then I don't know what to say, dude.
そもそも若い女の子の集団をうまくまとめるのってめちゃくちゃ大変なんだから。B 小町の時も愛ばっか人気だったもんだからひいきって、思い出したらいいが。
どのみちそんな噂が立つようなグループにルビーを入れるわけにはいかない。
じゃあどうするの？
やりようはいくらでもあるよ。探偵雇ってネットにばらまいて。
そういう冗談は。
冗談じゃないけど。俺はルビーにアイドルやらせるつもりはない。
Okay, this underground thing, I fully understand, right? But he also fucking completely sabotaged the actual big time management. The better question is, why are you going behind her back? You know, I feel like the smarter way to deal with this is to like sit her down and be like, dude, this is not a good idea. Joining this underground fucking idol group is not a good idea. They treat you like trash, you don't get really paid for anything, and you're kind of just getting fucked in the ass, you know? It's just not a good idea. Just try to, you know, convince her out of it like a normal person, instead of going around like acting like a fucking mafia member. Going a little too far, I think.
お先失礼します。
お疲れ様。ルビー、あなた本気なのね。
I don't see where they're going with this. Like, Aqua's actively sabotaging, and I don't see his sabotage going unsabotaged. That's a normal sentence. My point is, I don't see him failing with this sabotage, which means all you're doing is just showing Ruby being all excited and shit, and then all of a sudden oh, we don't want you anymore, get lost. And then she's gonna be sad. I feel like doing this a second time is just not necessary. Why do it a second time? Because they're trying to milk the emotional pain that she's going through.
分かってるよ。それはアクアにも言われたって。
ストーカー被害だってそこら中にありふれた話よ。それでも
当たり前だよ。だってなれるんだよ。やっと私もアイドルに。絶対ママみたいになるんだ。
本気か？
本気だよ。
ならそのグループに入るのはやめなさい。
なんで私本気でアイドル。
本気ならうちの事務所に入りなさい。いちごプロは十数年ぶりに新規アイドルグループを立ち上げます。
Yeah, honestly, I like that. I think she came up with this idea after, you know, looking at this picture and stuff and kind of like making up her mind, right? And it's like, I like her, don't remember her name. I didn't write it down either. The stepmom, right? The adoptive mom. I like her, you know, doing her best to support her daughter, I guess. And that's kind of what I think is the best course of action here as well for Aqua as well, because that way the management is in-house, kind of, and you know he has access to everything, can manage the security better, and I feel like it's just the best option.
はい、これでルビーはいちごプロ所属のタレント。なんかしたら訴訟するからね。
めちゃ怖。
冗談じゃないからね。芸能界入るために必要な手続きでもあるから怒らないでよ、アクア。
別に反対してない。
なるほど。結局妹はアイドルの道に進むわけか。いいのかよ、お兄ちゃん的には。
どこの馬の骨ともわからんグループでやられるよりは、身内が運営なら悪いようにはならないだろう。
True.
兄弟ともども芸能の道か。
ともどもじゃない。今の俺は裏方志望。
また役者やる気になったんじゃないのか？妹と同じ高校を受けるんだろ？
芸能科受けるのはルビーだけ。俺は一般科。
お前が俺に弟子入りしてきた時は絶対役者になるって顔してたもんだが。
俺にとって役者というのは単なる手段だ。愛を死に追いやった男。俺の父親を見つけ出して愛の受けた苦しみを味わわせるための。くしくも奴を探し出す鍵は俺自身にある。体毛や粘膜の DNA 鑑定で特定できるはずだ。
So the thing here is, it's been 10 years. Let me tell you something. Let me enlighten you. If you've spent 4 years with someone and you grow close to them and it's great and all, and then they die, they get murdered, and you have this innate passion to try to kill the person who killed her, right? Oh my god. But after 10 years, that passion is gonna fade 100%. It might still be there, and you might still be actively trying to get that revenge, but it's not gonna be as strong, nowhere near as strong as it was when the murder happened. Oftentimes, after like, I mean, not even 10 years, but like 100% after 10 years, you would be viewing it a little bit differently. Because at this point, you've spent more than twice the amount without this person than you did with this person who died. So it's like, I mean, I feel like his motivation, his resolve to get revenge would have already lessened in the last 10 years. After 10 years, I mean, you would have new people you care about, new hobbies, new everything, basically.
芸能人に直接接触できるポジションを得る必要がある。役者はそのための最短手段だが、芸能界に関わるってだけなら AD でも裏方でも構わない。あやくとはいえ、監督の作品に何本か出演させてもらってよくわかった。俺には演技の才能がない。頑張ってるが売れない役者っていう世の中に腐るほどいる人間の一人でしかなかった。俺は愛みたいに特別な何かがない。分不相応な目標は持つべきじゃないんだ。
ガキが夢見なきゃ誰が夢見んだよ。 やりてえこと諦めるなんて大学生になってからでもまだ早いぞ。いいか、20年夢を見続けてる中年からのアドバイスだ。一度しか言わねえからよく聞けよ。
Except he's older than you.
誰にでも夢を見る権利はある。宝くじだって買わなきゃ当た
大使、ご飯できたわよ。
俺にも愛と同じような才能があると信じてた時期があった。だけど俺は愛みたいには。
あいやいやいや、うるせえな、お猿さんかよ。確かに愛はすごかったよ。本当に特別な人間だったのかもな。だけどお前は愛にはなれないし、愛もお前にはなれない。愛に今のお前みたいな政策の知識があったか？お前みたいに頭の出来が良かったか？一度や二度の挫折でひよってんじゃねえ。そういう言葉は使える武器全部使ってから吐け。凡人面するには10年早いよ。役者やりてんだろ。顔に書いてある。
Where did this desire to become an actor come from? Technically, we have not seen his childhood. His second childhood, he was already an adult. We established this. So we have never actually seen his childhood. He never once, from what we saw of his previous life, he never once wanted to be an actor. He was a doctor, maybe he was a little, I guess, disillusioned with his job and stuff, but still, he never had any want to be an actor. I mean, I don't know. If they're just going away from the whole doctor thing, like why even have these two characters, Ruby and Aqua, reincarnate? What I've seen in this episode so far, you could have literally just started the show from when Oshi and I got pregnant and then had babies. You know, you could have literally just had the Aqua and Ruby be completely normal children, and then they go through a traumatic event when they're 4. Ruby wants to become like her mother, and then Aqua wants revenge and stuff like that. So this whole reincarnation thing is right now is completely out the window, like completely unnecessary. Also interesting, right? You're telling me that Aqua has, considering he's still chasing the father, right? Aqua has not figured out who the father is yet. Or at least doesn't even have any leads? You want to know what I would do? And logically, investigate the fucking killer. The first thing I would do, I would find out who the killer was. We heard that the killer committed suicide after, you know, murdering Oshi, right? Find out who he was. Then find out who he was close to, who his family was. I think there's a connection between the father and the stalker. Maybe the stalker was a part of the father's family, because I don't think the father would just randomly know the stalker. And then what? The father finds out, oh, you're living over there now? Okay. Calls up the stalker. Hey, by the way, Hoshina my ex, who I have children with, is living over there. Do with that what you will. I don't think the father would do that. So I'm guessing that the father is potentially a family member of the stalker. And that's how the stalker found out about the hospital where she went to have her babies, as well as the fact that she was even pregnant to begin with, and then also found out where she lived. But the fact is, there has to be some sort of connection between the father and the stalker, so find out who the stalker was first, who his family was, who he was connected to, and you can go from there. Basic investigation. But apparently he hasn't thought of this, and if he has, they're not telling us. I feel like instead of being like, oh, I need to become an actor to get into the acting scene and try to figure out who it was and test everyone's DNA and stuff. Dude, go find out who the stalker is, find who's connected to him, or who was connected to him, and move from there. You don't need to do some sort of fucking wannabe infiltration mission. Okay, so now they're in high school.
この芸能科は誰でも受けられるわけではなく、芸能事務所に所属している証明書が必要となる。
いちごプロ所属、星野ルビーです。
星野アクアマリンです。
すごい名前だね。
偏差値 70？ なんで偏差値40のうちを受けたの？
校風に惹かれまして。
そこまで校風に魅力を感じたの？
どうだった？
多分平気。そっちは？
問題ない。 万一弾かれるとしたら名前のせいだろうな。
確かに本名星野アクアマリンだもんね。みんなめんどくさがってアクアって呼ぶけど。アクア
And then there's her.
あなた星野アクア？
誰だっけ？
映画で共演した有馬かな。
おお、久しぶり。ここの芸能家だったのか。
よかった。ずっと辞めちゃったのかと。やっと会えた。入るの？うちの芸能家入るの？
いや、
Remember what I said, by the way. Remember. Adult. If we assume he was like 28 in his previous life, because he was a doctor, so there's no way you would get to be a doctor under like 28. If we assume he's like, okay, let's say 30 in his previous life. Now he's 15, high school, 45 mentally. He's a full adult. So no relationships with children. Don't even try it. Because we established fully as a fact that he is an old adult.
一般化受けた。
なんでよ。
That was episode 2. I will say this episode kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie at all. I think Ruby joining Strawberry Productions, and you know, the production Strawberry SP from now on. SP going back into the idol business after 10 years is like a good development. But the fact is, not only has Aqua not gotten anywhere with his investigation, it seems like he didn't even go down the very basic route of investigating the murderer. You know, straight up. Did you not investigate the person who killed your mother? That's the whole point of your revenge, to get revenge, right? You want to know who the father is, okay? Investigate the person who came to kill you. Investigate their connections. Go out, find out who was the family members of the murderer, the stalker. Find out who he was in contact with, or at least do your best to find out. And then most likely you'll find someone. Make a list of people who the stalker was in contact with, or who might have known the stalker, right? And you'll probably find a good amount of people who could be your prime suspects. And this is like bare minimum. He's had like 10 years to do this, but apparently he hasn't even thought of the idea yet. That's so like, I mean, to me, this is basic stuff. If I'm thinking, okay, my mother was killed, I know that the father told the stalker, or at least leaked to the stalker, where we lived. So, the stalker must have been in contact with the father somehow. The stalker must have gotten the information from someone, somewhere, at some time. So, investigate the stalker. You know his name, or at least you could easily get it, I'm sure. Go to the police, be like, hey, I want to know the name of my mother's killer. I mean, I'm sure they have it. I mean, that's probably the easiest part of the investigation. So find out the name of the killer, of the stalker, then move on to investigating that person, right? Who they were in contact with, who is their family, so on and so forth. Make a list of people that he was in contact with, and then investigate them one by one. Basic stuff. The fact that he hasn't even done any of this is, I don't know, kind of weird to me. Obviously, this relationship is not gonna happen. He's an adult. That would be pedophilia. Apparently, he thinks that he doesn't have any acting chops, and the director is like, you haven't even tried yet. And then the rest of this was just the idol thing, that Ruby wants to become an idol and Aqua doesn't want her to become an idol. So, I mean, that's basically it. That was episode 2. As I said, kind of a disappointing episode. I expected, as I said in the beginning of the episode, I expected Aqua to have some leads at this point. You know, I fully expected, hey, he's investigated the murderer, the stalker. He's probably going through his list of people that were connected to the stalker and so on and so forth. And we see that he maybe like investigated everyone, but everyone seemed like innocent. And so he kind of ran out of leads or something, you know, stuff like that. I expected at least the bare minimum. It was kind of a disappointing episode. It is what it is. Still hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in episode 3 of Oshinoko later.